What is up with it? Feel free to, I actually really like the YouTube comments I've been getting and stuff like that, but feel free to tweet at me, leave YouTube comments of content you'd like to see. All right, so let's do a quick recap of SCL Week 4. Let's do a quick recap of SCL Week 4. There's some stuff I want to talk about with regards to like what I'm looking forward to for Summit 10, which I think is going to be hype. Yeah, I want to talk about just like, so, you know, they've been planning Smash Summit 10 basically since the start of Slippi Champions League. Do I know Summit 10 is going to have a store? I mean, almost... Well, actually, no. Wait, that's a good question. They should definitely. I mean, it's an easy opportunity. But it's, you know, it's the kind of thing where they're not doing a compendium. So I mean, it's going to be really different, right? Like they're doing. These are qualified players. These are invited players, and they haven't really announced, I think, how these invitations are going to work. Let's head on over to the BTS Smash Twitter page real quick, and let's see what they're have they said much about it? I don't really think so. And it's kind of what, like, you know, the last things they tweeted about was Zain versus Zain, you know, face roll versus, it's just SCL stuff. So they haven't really said much about it. It's super soon. It's in fucking like 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. It's super soon. No Summit skits. I mean, okay, so this is kind of what I'm looking forward to. I guess we can talk about this first. What I'm thinking would be hype. Okay, first of all, I don't know what the fucking ramifications of this are. I don't know how hard it is. I'm assuming they can just do it because they did it for Overcooked. They gotta talk to the Among Us devs and they gotta get a license to do Among Us, and they just gotta run Among Us. Like, the Mafia at Summit is such a staple. They gotta do Among Us. They just gotta do it, you know? They just gotta do it. Green screen players for skits. Some players do have green screens. It would be funny if they found some way to try to do it. It would be funny. I mean, a lot of these guys are big, like, this is the list of players, right? Like, Zain, big streamer, None, big streamer, Face Roll, okay, his webcam's kind of potato status, Plub, big streamer, Wizzy, streamer, Pew Pew, streamer. I guess these guys could be big, it's just they stream kind of infrequently these days. I guess what I'm saying is most of these guys probably have the means to at least do something, which would be cool, but what I think would be really cool with Smash Summit 10 in terms of if they want to do content and like non-tournament events, I think it would be cool to have this be just a really gameplay focused. Because there have been some summits in the past where I felt like there was less like skit-based content, but there was a lot of like kind of just side event melee content, which is like, in my opinion, it's always fun, and like there's always shit that you kind of want to see. Like Mango Axe Wednesday, you got to bring that back. You got to bring that back. You know, character crew battles, even like just crew battles are fun. I actually miss the old days when there was stuff like Team Beer and things like that, and then you would just have the straight up 4-on-4 crew battle. I always thought those were actually really, really fun. I mean, there were some, you know, really memorable moments in the crew battles. I got to play in one time. I thought it was really touching that Mewtwo picked me for his crew. When there were actually quite a few people remaining, I was like, oh, Mewtwo thinks I'm good at the game. Thank you, Mewtwo. And we actually won that crew event, so that was cool. But I would love to see a gameplay-focused side event summit. I'd love to see the return of crew battles, character crews, you know, Iron Man's, Mango Axe, fucking, I wish we could do doubles. I don't even know if doubles is possible on Slippi right now. Thoughts on main bracket format, players getting sent on pools into losers and such. Yeah, I mean, they've done several different bracket bracket format iterations over the Smash Summits. I mean, I just like the formats where people get a lot of playtime. I feel like even the more recent, like, okay, the one that always sticks out to me is the summit where IBDW, he got wrecked in pools. He lost to Spud, he lost to, I don't remember who else, but he went like 1-3 in pools. He was not doing well. And then he basically had, in bracket, and by the way, he was bumming on himself all weekend. Like, he was, you know, in the player area, he was like, man, I'm just playing so bad. Like, I wish I didn't blow, this is like my only opportunity, whatever. I wish I didn't blow, I wish I didn't blow it like this. I wish I didn't blow it like this. And, you know, a lot of people, myself included, were kind of telling him, look, dude, you're literally, it's literally just seeding. You can wake up Sunday morning and play out of your mind and literally get top 3 at this tournament, and pools matches don't matter. And it's exactly what happened. By the end of the weekend, he was like, you guys were right. He's like, you guys were all correct. It really is never over till it's over with some of these formats that they use. And I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, I think a format like that where you get that many chances is only really bad if the pool sets feel like they start to not matter, which, I mean, I guess the problem sometimes is when you have like some of these Swiss formats, it's very hard to tell how much. Like, I remember there's that situation where it was like if Pricent wins then I don't remember who it was, but it's like, if Bryson wins this set, then Shroomed makes it into the bracket. But if the other guy wins this set, then Axe makes it into the bracket, or some shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, what? Like, what? These two are playing, but the winner, the people who benefit the most are these guys over here who have nothing to do with the set. And so, which I get, you know, I mean, it makes sense when you actually look at it. I think if anything, if they're going to run a format like that, they got to have better graphics, because the graphics did not make it obvious enough. If you have good enough, I stand by, you know, with a format like that, if you have good enough graphics to explain to the stream what the implications of every set are, it's fine. SCL, week 4. So yeah, Zain's fucking really good, is all this was. I still fucking, man, every time. The crazy thing is, like, I don't think he could do this forever. I don't think he could go undefeated against these Sheiks forever. He's clearly better than all of them right now. He's clearly more consistent than all of them. They're gonna get him, though. Like, Face Roll made it look doable as fuck. Spark made it look doable as fuck. Plup definitely made it look doable as fuck. I don't think Zain can keep this up forever. And yeah, I don't know. Mango's really down on himself because he lost 3 weeks in a row or whatever, but, like, he really shouldn't be. Like, he's really good right now, and I just don't think anyone's untouchable right now. I just don't think anyone's untouchable. There's a very, like, every single person in Division 1, I just feel like is really, really good. Even some of the players in Division 2, I feel like a lot of these players can upset people that are above them. I just don't think anyone's that untouchable right now. I really don't. Mango Axe was fucking close. The Div 1 relegation match. I mean, even Zain, like, Zain has looked untouchable. It remains to be seen. I don't think he's going to be able to keep it up forever. Like, he's not going to, I mean, obviously, when I say forever, I mean, it's like, okay, obviously Zain's not literally going to go undefeated until the end of time. But, yeah, he's solidly the #1 player right now, but, like, a lot of these games looked so close. I mean, they looked so close, and I think every week, I mean, that's kind of why this event was hype, was like, okay, can this Sheik do it? Okay, Face Roll gets a shot week 3, and then it's like, okay, now week 4, can Plup do it? And it's like always like, oh shit, he's gonna do it, and then like Zain like does some fucking genius Marth shit, and it's just like, oh fuck, he's covering everything perfectly, and then Zain barely, you know, kind of clutches the games, and the funny thing is they're never even 3-2, but he's just clutching it. He's just fucking clutching it. I think IBW will get a set off of him eventually, for sure. I mean, he's got to get to him, you know, more, I guess. Like, well, how many times did he play him in SCL? I guess he played him did he play him 2 weeks? Weeks 2 and 3? I remember the first time, week 2, I think he looked really solid. I think IBW is definitely going to take a set. But, like, you know, to me, it's just a matter of, like, it's so easy to get down on yourself as a Melee player, with how hard this game is and how, you know, much pressure there is playing in tournaments sometimes. You can hit these very high peaks in friendlies, I think, and then in tournament, you can't quite reach that pinnacle. I think that happens to a lot of people. It's happened to me a lot, and it's really easy to get down on yourself because you're like, fuck, like, I'm making it so close in friendlies, but, like, I just can't seem to do it in tournament. But from the outside looking in, it's like, they really have no reason to be upset. I think players like IBW and Mango, like, just because they underperformed this last week or this last, like, 2 weeks, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't mean any, like, I don't think anyone would look at them and be like, oh, they're washed, right? It's like, they're playing, you know, like on their streams, like when they're grinding and stuff like this, they're clearly playing at a level where it's like, no, they're fucking really good. And like, Zain just is bringing that extra bit of consistency to the table. But like, realistically, man, if you're playing in Div 1 at all, I mean, you're so on top of the field right now. But yeah, Zain is just fucking, I don't even know what to call him, because you can't meme on his name the way you can meme on Hungry Boxes. But he's the clutch god right now. Zain's just that clutch master. He hasn't lost a set to Falcon since Summit 8. Damn. Yeah, and he's beating them consistently too. That's Zain's thing, man. I feel like Zain's thing is he takes a matchup that sucks and he loses at it like 10 times, and then he figures it out and he just fucking starts shitting on them. Did the same thing with Puff, did the same thing with Yoshi. Someone needs to just Marth on it. He honestly did the same thing with Marth. Zain did. Like, remember there was that period where he was like, when he was coming up, and he would lose to Pew Pew like every time they played, and then he just started winning, and then he never lost again. Likewise, I don't know. I mean, he looks really, really good versus these Sheiks right now. I mean, if you count the game scores, he's only dropped 1 game to plup and 1 game to face roll. But I'm talking about the week 3 face roll match. But like, it just feels like he's just I feel like it's when I watch the sets, I feel like he's like 1 step ahead on the reads, and he's just playing that. Because I mean, there's a lot of situations where you kind of have to make a read one way or the other, like as the Marth or the Sheik in the matchup. And I don't necessarily think Zain has figured something out in like the matchup that is making it like that is making him shit on the Sheiks. Like I definitely think they could still do it, but if anything, I might have to take a closer look at some of these sets and do some analysis or something, because like every time I watch it, it looks so doable, and a lot of these games just come down to like a couple little interactions where he just makes a really good call. But man, they're exciting every time for sure. I like cannot wait to watch more of this stuff. Like. And I mean, these are you know, theoretically like doable matchup. I mean, he's making Falcon look like a piece of cake, but there's 4 Falcons in Summit 10. There's 4 Sheiks. You know, like there's a lot of people that can potentially beat Zain. It looks like it's just the fact that they've got to start out playing him in these clutch situations, and right now he's just looking untouchable. Right now he's just looking untouchable in these little moments. You know. Is Fat Goku in? Fat Goku did get in. Let's fucking go. I forget who he beat. He made a run through. He made a run through the open bracket. I remember he didn't even win the open bracket. He got like 3rd, because I think Lucky Shroomed were 1st and 2nd. Div 2 relegation. He beat Aklo. Yes, I remember that set. SFAT beat Magi. Gatsu beat Lucky. This was wild because Lucky like won rollback rumble and shit like that. And then Shroom beat Azel. Poor Azel, man. Azel's like SCL. He like got in. Azel did the whole run. He did the whole run of SCL, by the way. Shout out to Azel. He came in through the open bracket. Got like relegated, 1 relegation, got into Div 2, 1 relegation, beat HBox, got into Div 1. Was he in Div 1? How high did he go? He made it into Div 1. Yeah, he played Zain in Div 1. Made it into Div 1, lost, went to Div 1 relegation, lost, went to Div 2, lost relegation, and now he's fully out. He did Zain is the only guy that did the whole run of SCL. He got in from he was out, got all the way in, went all the way to the top. Well, okay, obviously didn't play in like the finals of Div 1, but he played in Div 1 and then got relegated all the way out. That's crazy. But the coolest thing about it, honestly, the coolest thing about this to me is this. The fact that if you actually think about it, the fact that they've kind of teased that they're going to do more of these in the future is super hype. Because I think this is just a great format. Like, I even think, like, you know, I mean, Mango and Leffen and Zain talked about it in the 6-4 podcast, but there's definitely potential for even stuff like, shit, okay, imagine, like, we get to a point, God knows when, or God knows how, but imagine we get to a point where we can have, like, small gatherings of people, like the way they have in a lot of, like, Asian countries and countries that are lower on the curve of COVID. And then, like, imagine we could do invitationals. Well, imagine you could do, like, online qualifying events and then, like, you know, offline top 16 or top 8 or something. Like, that's super doable. Aiden mentioned they might do stuff like that with Europe. That's hype. I love that Aiden supports EU Melee. Love EU Melee. Honestly, it'd be cool if they did for like South America too. I don't know. It's really cool when you get to see kind of these other regions play. Love the format except for winners picking their opponents for next week. I mean, okay, I think with that, it kind of feels like they had a vision for how they wanted that to go, which is like because, you know, there's like definitely esports where they do that sort of thing where it's like pick your opponent for the next round or whatever. Like, and they've even done it in some of the Summit side events in the past or like pools. Like I think everyone remembers, like, you know, they did that for one of the summits where, and then Mango picked Leffen and it was like super hype or whatever. It was like for their pools match. I think it can be hype, but maybe just something about the fact that it's online makes it, I don't know what it is. The first week it was kind of weird when they got them all in a call together. Maybe if you dial people in one after another, it'd be less awkward. I think in terms of the sets that we ended up getting, it wasn't so bad. Like how many of the Division 1 matches were won by the people that picked somebody versus the ones that were won by somebody who got picked? Because like here, I don't think Spark picked IBDW. So easy to character counter pick. I definitely didn't like that they didn't seed Division 2 relegation. I didn't pay too much attention to the seeding in Div 2, so I can totally believe that if that's actually how it went. IBW's HBox was pretty brutal. Yeah, I mean, you could take a view to it and say that like examples like that, or like Zain picking Mango is like, you know, the fact that this, you know, well, Mango didn't get second place in the previous week, so he probably shouldn't have been seeded second anyway, but like the fact that this happened round 1 might be a little sus. I don't know. Before HBox dropped out, it was two out of 3 of the best players in D2, arguably the top 2, depending on how you rank Axe versus Wizzy and HBox. And then the loser of that had to face Fiction and Div 2 relegation, was by far the best in that pool. Yeah, that is a little weird. That seems a little strange. That does seem a little strange. And that's how we ended up with that Fiction Wizzy set, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Zain picking Mango was definitely that was definitely just a stunt. That was a flex. I mean, that being said, who did he have a pick of? It was like Mango, Plup, Johnny, or Spark? I don't know that there's necessarily a right answer there. Like, who do you pick? You can pick a Sheik, Plup, or Spark, but that seems risky. Okay, I mean, he 3-0'd Spark, so maybe Spark was the right call. I don't really think there's a wrong answer here. Maybe Johnny with how good he looks versus Falcon, but for what it's worth, Johnny has always looked like the best Falcon against Zain. So even that's, you know, potentially... It's not crystal clear. It's not crystal clear. Yeah, you could say that Johnny or Spark are theoretically the easiest opponents here, but I mean, I don't even really think that's necessarily the case. Like, character-wise, Falco is probably the best matchup Marth has. But yeah, yeah, I don't even think it's. I think it's almost an option select where Zain could pick Mango, and it looks like a fucking big dick energy flex. But at the same time, it's kind of just a good idea, you know, potentially. And it's just hype. It's cool that he played. Mango might not have even played in SCL. I don't know what happened with his kid's birthday party. I remember he said he had a kid's birthday party. Zain picking Axe, yes, would be a flex. That would be a flex. And I mean, you know, it's wild because I mean, Axe hasn't even really been showing up to stuff lately. So like Zain would have nothing really to gain from that. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't even on the table for Div 1 this week anyway. He did survive, though. And I mean, for what it's worth, I don't know if you guys watched the Mango Axe set, but there were some fucking moments in that set. Like this shit. Yeah, this shit was crazy. Let me get the commentary.
That was crazy.
Oh, wow.
What?
I'm telling you, bro, he's hella good at Edgeguard next, bro. I don't understand it.
Well, yeah, he's one of the only people that can do it. Everyone else struggles.
We're till. Oh no, he went for everything.
What?
No way!
Oof.
Oh my god!
He been labbing that? That's so cool to hear. If he'd really been labbing that, like.
Oh no, he went for everything.
Damn, what a fucking play!
No way! Oh my god!
That's terrifying. I wonder what Mag was saying to his stream.
What?
Look at his mouth move.
No
What did he say? What did he say? You could probably find it in his stream VODs.
way! Oh my god!
Yo.
We're gonna need a replay of that one after the
Holy
set
shit!
ends.
That was insane.
Ooh, if you guys missed
How
it,
was game 5? It was like sort of convincing, right? Not like
read that.
Yeah.
not like
Oh, this is big.
Ginger vs. Axe levels of convincing, which is kind of crazy to say, but
Careful here.
ooh.
That's what I was talking about.
Up smash.
Insane.
It's crazy that he can kill off that. Isn't that crazy that he can kill off that?
That's what I was talking about.
I don't know. I just see this grab and I'm like, how does Pikachu kill Falco here? It looks so awkward. Like this looks so awkward to me. And then he actually gets it. Like that's just a true combo. And I'm like, oh wow,
Wait a minute.
that's wild.
Slime, are your hands starting to sweat?
This is definitely doable. Oh no, not with the air dodge just like
Slime.
that.
Oh, I thought it was down tilt.
I've seen this match before.
Ah,
and
it sucks that he went out like
Air
that.
dodge just like that.
Just like a
I've
preemptive
seen this
ledge
match
dash
before, and it
that Mango was ready
does
for.
end like that here.
Good set though, I think. I thought this was actually a banger set for something that really, I mean, wasn't for stakes, but they're both already qualified for Summit 10. I mean, it's really just for money because there's no Div 1, Div 2, Week 5. There's no Week 5. So I mean, it was really just for who got the Div 1 money. I mean, it's still significant. You know, you want to win too. You're playing in front of 10,000 plus people. I thought the commentary was awesome. It was really cool to do commentary with Slime because I've never had a commentary block with Slime prior to SCL. I really, you know, it even got to the point where I was, because I always thought that our humor would go well with each other. And I actually hit up some TOs once upon a time where I was like, yo, I want a commentary block with Slime this weekend. And then we ended up not doing it because we had to swap commentators at the last minute anyway because I made it into round 2 pools or something. And then there was a scheduling conflict, so we moved the commentary blocks around. So I never ended up commentating with him. And I always thought our humor would kind of work out well together because, okay, here's the thing. I'm used to commentating with Bobby Scar, who is a Falcon whiner, a populist, likes to see the big picture. Slime is kind of like that in some ways. Certainly likes complaining about characters that Falcon struggles against. So I'm like, look, I'm very used to this. This is not, you know, I can totally work with this. This is totally fine. I can dial it back down to like a, you know, a more tolerable level for the floaties and the Sheik mains in the chat, like when I need to, in a way that is also not offensive to my co-commentator. Like I definitely know how to work with this. So I always knew that I would have a great time commentating with Slime. I thought Lovage was sick. Lovage is always sick. Also really loved commentating with Squid. I mean, he dialed in, so it wasn't quite the same. I didn't get to hang out with him or whatever. But I thought Squid was really a treat to have on the commentary. I mean, I think with Squid it's great because he's obviously super knowledgeable. He's like he's just very like easygoing and polite and stuff like that. So he's just a very pleasant guy to listen to. I can't imagine someone just being like, I don't like Squid. Or I don't like Squid's commentary. Like, I'm like, it's like weird. I can't even imagine what that would be like. He's like, and he just feels like he'd be so hard to dislike, you know? Yeah, he's just, you know, well-spoken, smart, knows a lot about the game, really good, obviously. And I'd never commentated with him before either. So I was like, this is great. This is super, super cool to have him on. Thought Levin's commentary was really good. In particular, I really like when I say things on commentary and Levin agrees with me, which kept happening in some sets, and I was like, this is great. Every time I like said something about Shroom versus Spark, and then Leffen was like, yeah, you're totally right. And I was like, nice. Leffen thinks I'm smart. And then Brandon, you know, nothing more to say there. Brandon's obviously just great, and I think we all kind of just love having him around. Yeah, ranking season was always kind of lit. People would get up in their britches about it, though. You know the phrase britches? I feel like that's like an out of date phrase. I don't even know what britches are. What are britches? I'll Google it some other time. Maybe it's a bad word. But people get in their britches about ranking season, man. People get upset. And I definitely think net play, like, I don't know. On one hand, it would be cool to have the conversation that would ensue from doing an online ranking. On the other hand, a lot of people would get really salty. And I'm not sure that the benefits outweigh the negatives. I feel like the cons probably outweigh the pros. Online rank mode is going to be such a Pandora's box. I think it's going to be... See, the thing about that is you can't argue about it. Like, online ranked... Okay, the problem with rankings like these that are done by a panel is there's so much arguing and people can say, this is bullshit, you know, HBox clearly his heart's not in it, blah, 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 all this stuff. Whatever. But Rank Slippi isn't like that. Rank Slippi, it's like whatever happens, just happens. If you want to be rank 1, you just got to win sets. If you lose, you go down in the rankings, right? It's just like, that's just how it is. So I just feel like, yeah, okay, maybe there's some people that'll be toxic about it or whatever, but I just feel like overall, it'll probably be mostly positive. I mean, think about, it's like, I've played a lot of Smash Ladder ranked, and like, by and large, people aren't that toxic. Not to mention, by and large, people don't rage quit, which I think is going to be really good. I bet there's a lot of character mains that are going to be really happy to be able to play ranked, because it's like, I mean, I'm sure for a lot of mid-tier mains, people just quit out on them all the time because they don't want to give them the time of day. And I'm sure for those players, ranked is going to be a godsend. Not to mention, I think a lot of the top players are going to take it really seriously. Like, obviously, all the streamers, the content creators, myself included, like, we're all probably going to be grinding Melee ranked because, like, I think it's just such free stream content. Like, and the best part is the more people at the top level that take it seriously, the better stream content it is. Because if Mango and Zain are both vying for the #1 spot, then it really means something, you know? It really, really means something. And then it's just going to trickle down from there, where, like, if Mango wants #1 and Zain wants #1, well, they can't both be #1. And then everyone else is going to start taking it seriously, too, because, like, well, shit, if Mango and Zain are taking it seriously, then it's, like, legit enough that I should at least try it, you know? Blah, blah, blah. And then I think from there, I think there's just going to be so much activity on it that, I don't know. I think it's going to be more good than harm. Yeah, you're going to have some moments where someone's got some shit Wi-Fi or whatever, and you feel cheated out of some sets. But I mean, that was already the case in Smash Ladder a long time ago, and that's something that you can definitely reconcile for in our ranked system. And I'm sure Fizzy will, like, he's a smart enough guy that, like, he'll probably implement a good system. I feel like. Please bring the reads back. We definitely plan on doing the reads again once Slippi ranked is out. I mean, I'm gonna be streaming a lot of Slippi rank too, like on my own, but we'll do the reads on top of that for sure. That's the plan. That's the plan. Seeing the way Fizzy talks about development makes me really happy. Yeah, it seems like he's like open to stuff, which is really cool. He's thinking about everything at a deep level. Even stuff like UI, you know, I was kind of singing Milty's praises for, I thought she did a really good job just with the Slippi.gg homepage. Like, you know, there was this conversation this weekend or a couple days ago about like how, you know, the Ultimate Online is shit, right? Like you can play Ultimate Online right now with the Switch emulator, Yuzu, and Cloud Parsec, and it feels very good. But so few people know about it. When I tweeted about it, MVD came back, and MVD said to me like, yo, man, this is the first I've heard of this. I got to try this. And then Esam was tweeting about shit. I want to try this too. Like a lot of their top players didn't even realize it was a thing. So, you know, think about that world compared to this, where you can just go to Slippi.gg and it's like, oh, get started now. Like, I don't even have to fucking worry about what this other shit says. Get started now. Click on that. And it's just like, this is what you do. And it's just like this like step-by-step thing. And you just do it. And there's little pictures of what you're supposed to do to set it up to make it feel good. And if you just do everything here, you're done. And then there's a Discord if you need to ask for help. And most people probably don't even run into that much problems. You know, it's just like so much easier. And I think having a splash page like this, like, yeah, rollback is one thing, but features like this, features like unranked matchmaking, like those aren't rollback related. Those are just quality of life. And I think for like, I'm saying this as someone with the short attention span myself, I think for lazy Zoomers, you need shit like this to hook people. Because otherwise people aren't going to be bothered. It's just too difficult. You're not going to know where the fuck to click. You're not going to know what to set up, all this shit. It's too hard, you know? It's too hard. And this makes it super easy. So I think that's part of the reason it's so popping and why like everyone's on Melee on Slippi right now.